DGTV, classic television, modern news. Coming up next, DGTV news and commentary with Darren Gilbert. Brought to you by Miller Lite Beer with George Steinebruner and Bill Martin.
You know, a lot of people think Billy and I argue all the time. Actually, we agree on just about everything, right, Bill?
Yeah, you betcha, George.
We even drink the same beer.
Light beer from Miller. Light's got a third less calories than regular beer, and it's less filling.
And the best thing is it tastes so great.
No, George, the best thing is less filling.
No, Bill, it tastes great.
Less filling, George.
Billy, it tastes great.
Less filling, George.
Billy?
Yeah, George.
You're hired.
Not again.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Did I say hi?
Huh. Yes, George, you did say hired. Laugh out loud. Less filling. Tastes great. And now here's Darren Gilbert, reporting today from Wasaga Beach, Ontario.
Good evening, everyone. Item. It has been 1 week since the Arizona shooting, the tragic Arizona shooting, in which a number of people were murdered by psychopath Jared Loughran, and Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords was shot in the head, and she's recovering surprisingly very well. That is good news. What is bad news is the predictable behavior of liberals and Democrats on this incident. They have taken advantage of this incident to use it to try to take away freedom of speech and also to introduce further gun controls, a right in the U.S. Constitution. Both are rights in the U.S. Constitution. Now, what is a liberal or a Democrat's version of toning down the rhetoric and taking away various freedoms of speech? Well, what it is the fairness doctrine and net neutrality. More specifically, getting rid of, or at least cutting in half, right-wing talk radio and bringing in subsidized left-wing talk radio. And with respect to net neutrality, monitoring the internet to make sure that there are not too many conservative websites out there, because they want to control the message. Sheriff Dupnik opined out loudly last Saturday after this shooting, blaming right-wing talk radio and the Tea Party movement for this tragedy, when it's become clear that Jared Loughran is a psychopath, perhaps schizophrenic, a nut bar, and interviews of colleagues and friends of his have been conducted, and those people have basically said this guy is not someone who followed the news and was a political activist. Nonetheless, Sheriff Dupnik tried to use this tragedy to get people to turn away from the Tea Party movement and conservatism. Dupnik is a putz and a Keystone cop and an embarrassment to law enforcement in the United States. There was a memorial this past week on this tragedy, and President Obama spoke along with Governor Jan Brewer and a number of other dignitaries. And unfortunately, the event devolved into a rally. Now, you cannot really blame President Obama for this. He gave a solemn, sober speech. But the crowd was behaving like they were at the Wellstone Memorial funeral from a number of years ago. I don't know why they were behaving that way, but it was inappropriate. Some laughter and folly at a memorial or funeral is appropriate, but cheering throughout the entire event is bizarre. Also on this item, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton was interviewed about the shooting, and she labeled Mr. Loughran an extremist. Now, why do you think she did that? Because she's a Clinton, and they're all about spinning words. They like to call Tea Partiers and certain conservatives extremists. Why not call Loughran an extremist too? Maybe people will mix up the two and equate Laughrin and Republicans with extremism. It might have worked 20 years ago, maybe even 15, Madam Secretary. It's not going to work anymore. Well, what will this do on public opinion? On a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of influencing the next election and even short-term public opinion polls, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being negligible, 10 being massive, I would give it a 1 in terms of influencing whether or not people are going to vote Democrat or Republican or support either party. Item. Since we're talking about Hillary Clinton a moment ago, I'm going to bring up the fact that this past week she fell down while entering an airplane. She fell down and landed right on her legs and hands. She now replaces Gerald Ford, former President Gerald Ford, who was the victim of many jokes for falling down while exiting a plane. She now has the clumsy can't walk and chew gum at the same time award, and she's going to own that for some time. Item. In Ontario politics, Ontario Liberal Member of Provincial Parliament Mike Colle is the $5 million man. Last week I discussed Bedbugs and how the City of Toronto was going to spend $500,000 and the province was going to spend $1.5 million treating them, dealing with the problem. Well, now it's up to $5 million. Do I hear 10, ladies and gentlemen? Do I hear 15? 15 million? Do I hear 25 million? How about 100 million? Now, we all know what's going to happen with that $5 million. It's going to be wasted. It's going to be wasted on some websites, blaming landlords, rhetoric, feel-goodism. Nothing will be accomplished. 1 year from now, Bedbugs will be worse than they are now. 5 years from now, they will be way worse. And 10 years from now, they will be totally and completely out of control. If you live in a detached dwelling, chances are it won't affect you. If you live in an apartment building, a high-rise, or a high-rise condominium, it will possibly eventually affect you at some point in time. And you're going to realize you can't really effectively get rid of them. You might get rid of them with these weak chemicals and special sheets for your bed and putting all of your clothes in the dryer. Even this new heat treatment could be done in a semi-detached or townhouse dwelling, but certainly not a high-rise. Perfume for body odor. None of it works in the long term. Silent Spring was the name of a book that came out in the early 60s, which caused limousine liberals to want to ban the chemical DDT so that they could feel good about themselves, and after banning it, millions died of malaria in Africa. The chemical is found to not be nearly as dangerous if properly used. We need to bring back DDT or some acceptable version thereof for licensed exterminators and pest control technicians to use to get rid of bedbugs once and for all, rather than throwing taxpayers' money at it. Mike Colle, the $5 million man. Item. Target is coming to Canada. Zellers. Do we have any viewers out there who shop at Zellers in Canada? I got a gift card from Zellers. I could have used it at the Bay as well, but I got a gift card at Zellers and I needed a new white turtleneck, so I went there and bought a white turtleneck, and I still had a little bit of money left on the gift card to spend. I wanted to buy one more article of clothing perhaps, or some item. I could not find anything of any quality to buy at Zellers. Finally, I bought a pair of leather gloves that had been reduced because we're already well into winter, so I got something there. Zellers is, I don't want to say cheap quality, but it's a really lousy selection in my opinion. I welcome Target coming to Canada and taking over the Zellers leases. I am a Walmart fan, and it'll be great to have some competition. Apparently Target is a little bit more upscale than Walmart, and I welcome Target and look forward to shopping between the two. Item. Before I move on, I would like to wish a very happy Malanka to all of the Orthodox viewers of DGTV. I missed the Orthodox Christmas, mentioning it on the last broadcast, but I wanted to be sure to mention the Orthodox New Year in this broadcast because DGTV has a number of Orthodox viewers. Happy Malanka, Zdravstvuyte. This is Bullet Bourbon, by the way, that I'm drinking. Bullet Bourbon is my favorite bourbon. Item. Freedom of speech, once again, becomes the issue. Do you recognize that song by Dire Straits from 1985? Listen. The song has been banned by the Canadian Broadcast Standards Council for the use of the word faggot. And I'm quoting, I'm not using faggot in a derogatory manner here, I'm quoting the topic. The song's been around since 1985, and a bunch of do-gooders got together and decided to ban it because someone complained about that word in the song when they heard it on a radio station in Newfoundland. So the song is banned. Beware of the speech fascists or the speech police, whatever you want to call them, the fairness doctrine in the United States, net neutrality. I'm finding more and more that more and more politicians and bureaucrats are wanting to take away our freedom of speech. Do not give up any of it. Don't give up 1 inch of it to bureaucrats or politicians, because once you give it up, you cannot get it back. I'm Darren Gilbert, and this is DGTV News and Commentary. I hope you have a good week.